Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. All I want to talk about is Zack Snyder's Justice League today. Honestly, what else is going on? I mean, literally the whole day, it was all Zack Snyder's Justice League. Everybody's talking about it. You see celebrities talking about it. You see people outside of our community talking about it. People outside the movie industry talking about it. It's so huge. It's really big. Everybody's watching it. It's trending. Everything from Cyborg to Ben Affleck to Batman to Joker. Dark Side, the Snyder Cut, Restore the Snyderverse has been trending today, relentlessly today. It's been quite an amazing day. I mean, I had to work, but it's still great to see that happen. Start retweeting things here and there, seeing a lot of positive reactions, and the audience score is now available on Rotten Tomatoes. I know you don't care about Rotten Tomatoes, but a lot of studios, and especially in show business, they unfortunately do care about Rotten Tomatoes. And looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, it has been kind of floating between like 75, 76, 77, 78 on the critics rating, as the critics continue to add to the site. Right now, only 180 reviews. I'm sure there's hundreds more that are probably going to come in. I don't know when they're going to come in, but they will. But right now, it's floating at that pretty positive percentage number, which is something great. 97% for audience score. Everybody can put in their own audience score. Now it's likely that it's much more accurate this time around, after the whole Last Jedi fiasco, where they were finding people were just bombarding the audience score. So they were doing things where taking like the ones that were true and taking out the bots. So I guess that means this 10,000 plus ratings is correct, and it's probably more accurate to the amount of what the mainstream and general audience people likes of it. Of course, you see my review there. As an audience, I'm not a critic, but I threw mine in 5 stars. That's exactly how I feel about it. I also have a review on Letterboxd as well. So that's great. This is a positive thing. This is incredible. Loving it. The attention that this thing is getting. Surreal, really. Just imagining that this was, almost non-existent years ago, a myth, a legend, a joke even, and now it's real. People are seeing it, and people are realizing it, how different it is. Or even like an individual like John Campea, who was pretty much backing and listening to the trades and stuff like that, just realized that, why did they not put this one out when this one is definitely a better version, and things like that? So a lot of people are Warner Brothers was trending because people were like, Warner Brothers messed up. Joss Whedon was trending because they were saying Joss Whedon messed it up. Why did Joss Whedon's version sucks and stuff? And so it's kind of an interesting day today, listening and reading these comments, and for the first time that everybody generally agrees with the fandom this time around. Like, they are finally seeing it for first time, realizing all the things we already knew, how different it would have been, and how crazy awesome it is. It would be better than the theatrical version, like hands down. Like I said, at the very least, they all recognize that it is better than the studio mandated version that came out in 2017. So that's great to see, great to hear. Hopefully that means good things from coming out from this, which I'll have more on about. Okay, I really thought that there was going to be more people from the cast that would come out and just promote Zack Snyder's Justice League. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but it's great to see at least Henry Cavill, Superman himself, put out an IG post. He put a picture there, some behind-the-scenes pictures there. He's holding up that, part of that green screen, the object he's going to throw, right? That's part of that statue. And then a little bit more behind the scenes where he does the shirt rip, and also in the in the field with Lois Lane there, and they have their moment. And he says this: "Here's to you, Zack. Congratulations. I know this has been an arduous journey for you. You kept fighting, though. I couldn't be happy to see your version for Justice League realized, and what a movie it is. Hope never dies. Zack Snyder's Justice League." So that's awesome to see Henry Cavill actually posting something about it, thanking Zack, congratulating Zack. That and it was great. I was hoping like Ben Affleck or Gal Gadot, but understandably they could probably be very busy and not seeing it. But I really truly hope that would have happened. We do get words from Harry Lennox. We do get words, of course, Ray Porter, Ray Fisher, of course, Joe, Jared Leto, even. And Karen Bryson, and so there's a lot of support for that elsewhere, but I kind of wanted to see like maybe Jason Momoa or something like that. But maybe later on, maybe they start when they're not busy, and it's still continuing to trend. They'll be part of that conversation as well. We'll see. But hopefully they'll be part of the conversation when, we restore the Snyderverse, right? And they'll definitely have to come back to play their characters, which I think, they wouldn't say no to money, right? wouldn't say no to money, right? So, but it was great to see a lot of, people, Henry Cavill doing this. I think that goes a long way. I think he also realizes that the only way he can get more Superman is from Zack Snyder's Justice League now, I think. But there was a couple things about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder had in an interview, he said, breaks down the ending of Justice League, the Joker line that Jared Leto suggested, and plans for Jane Kai's Ryan Choi. Had been pitching Warner Brothers to do an Adam movie with him in China, like a Chinese cast superhero movie. So that would have been awesome. I think that would be crazy awesome to see an Adam movie with Ryan Choi in it. And no spoilers, but Jane Kai had Ryan Choi actually had quite a few scenes, actually more scenes than I expected, and really teasing his character. And so I really like that. And I thought that was like, wow, that was really taken out of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Justice League in 2017. And I'm so glad that they put that in there. And man, imagine if they had actually done that, they would have had a Chinese superhero movie out before Marvel has theirs. And and that would be pretty awesome. But now, unfortunately, Warner Brothers didn't, go this route, and they would have. They really shot down. They really shot their foot. Really did shot their foot in terms of. He had a plan to get it up to the Marvel, and they shot their foot. It's just embarrassing at this point. I hope things happen in which we change the course of history for this. But that's a little bit about Zack Snyder's Justice League for that. We had a watch party. Zack Snyder did a watch party with Cena and HBO Max. You couldn't watch the movie on Cena. You had to have HBO Max. But then he was in the comments talking about certain scenes and things like that, so you get to hear a little bit about it. One scene in particular was that he did say that he kind of hinted more about that Supergirl thing. And he pointed out that this armor suit right here it probably has a female version of Superman's suit under that armor. And to me, that was already kind of like giving away that is indeed a Supergirl outfit, right? So that would have been Supergirl. So he does say that a female version of Superman's suit under this armored version. So not Thora, but probably his cousin, Supergirl. So I thought that was kind of cool. He pointed that out in the watch party. Now, what I really want to talk about is this Vanity Fair article that came out. I'm not going to reveal a lot of the things because it does say spoilers in it. It does tell you about the ending and all the different things that happen within the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm going to reserve that for my spoiler review, which should be launching, hours from this Daily Show video. But in any case, I want to go to a few things in here that are not really spoiler. I don't think they are because we already talked about Green Lantern, so it's a little bit more info about about having or not having Green Lantern in the movie, and also a little bit about his take or his idea about maybe more, right? So that was something that's always been hinting at, that, he doesn't think it's going to continue, but you know what? The Snyder Cut never would have happened. But in any case, the Green Lantern portion was very interesting. Just like the video that last night's video was supposed to have been last night, but it ended up being this morning because of the scheduling problems was really wrong, and the processing it took forever. But I already told you that Zack Snyder confirmed that Ryan Reynolds was indeed supposed to cameo as Hal Jordan, and he wanted him to cameo as Hal Jordan because it would have worked with the true Green Lantern that he wanted to use, which, already everybody knows by now it's John Stewart. I've been hinting about him wanting John Stewart ever since, we talked about Green Lantern. I says, you know what, who would be a great Green Lantern? John Stewart. And so, and indeed, he said he wanted John Stewart. So here is the little point in that article about that, because Harry Lennox does show up as Martian Manhunter, and I'm not going to say where, but it says we shot a version of a scene with Green Lantern, but the studio really fought me and said, we really don't want you to do Green Lantern, Snyder said, so I made a deal with them and they let me do this instead. Okay, but which Green Lantern did Snyder want to use? It would be John Stewart would be the one that he wanted to do. Snyder expressed regret that the studio prevented him from bringing Stewart to the screen for the first time. They were like, we have plans for John Stewart, and we want to do our own announcement. So I said, all right, I'll give you that. So Martian Manhunter was the compromise. So they would have had... in a scene, Green Lantern instead of Martian Manhunter. And so, unfortunately, that didn't happen. The studio making stupid decisions once again, not allowing him to do something that he wanted, going against his vision once again. And I've heard about this. I've heard about this for a while now, and this all happens after the Snyder Cut was announced. This happened after he got to do the Snyder Cut. So this is not something from the long time ago. This is pretty current. And so when you see this scene, this was a reshot scene to have Martian Manhunter in, and that's unfortunate. But, in regards to the story, in terms of how it worked out, I still, honestly, Martian Manhunter did work out better, I think. But I'll talk about that in my spoiler review. But for the studio, once again, not letting him do Green Lantern because they want to do Green Lantern first, I think that is just bonkers. I think that is just ridiculous. Especially when, the years before, a year before, or maybe over a year before now, they had the Crisis on Infinite Earths. They got the idea for multiverse. They were at DC Fandom talking about multiverse and stuff like that. And they still pull that we want to use Green Lantern, And this is the multiverse. You can have multiple Green Lanterns. You have multiple Batmans now. You got multiple Supermans now. You got multiple cyborgs now. You got multiple Flash, Why can't we have multiple Green Lanterns? I don't understand that. I don't understand their thing. I don't know if it's maybe it's because this whole Jeff Johns thing and that's his baby, it's my Green Lantern, it's my baby. But I mean, it's just why? Seriously, it doesn't make sense to me at all. I know they're trying to reserve Green Lantern, especially Jon Stewart and stuff like that, for the Green Lantern series that's coming on HBO Max. That's where they want to throw Green Lantern in. But fuck, who gives a shit? If people can understand that Henry Cavill is Clark Kent and Tyler Hoechlin right now is actually a really good Superman in Superman Lois is also Clark Kent. You got Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. You got Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. You got fucking Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. You got Grant Gustin as Flash. You got Ezra Miller as Flash. Come on. Doom Patrol Cyborg, Justice League Cyborg. Come on. It's so ridiculous. Why can't we have two Jon Stewarts? I don't understand that concept. And so that part really messed me up. I was really frustrated. I was frustrated from before, and I was hiding it well. But just to hear that on plain black and white now in an article, brought me those feelings once again. But it really is unfortunate, and I think it all stems from them, Warner Brothers, trying to make this a cul-de-sac. Yeah, because even in this article, the Vanity Fair article, the filmmaker said this. Initially, the filmmaker said Warner Brothers resisted an addition. And this is something in the movie that I can't talk to you about until my spoiler review. But there was a scene that he wanted to put in, and they resisted because they said that they didn't want him to suggest more films to come. They wanted him to, quote unquote, this is an exact quote from Zack Snyder, cul-de-sac it as much as he could. And he's like, look, that's just not the genre. It's not the comic book genre to end the story, regardless if we ever make another one or not. That's not what he wanted for the film, right? And so they ultimately, let him do that particular scene, which is great. But just amazingly, that just tells you right there, Warner Brothers' idea for that I am shocked that they would come up to him and say, hey, you want to see your vision, go ahead and do whatever you want, but you know what, don't suggest there's any more after this. I want you to cul-de-sac it as much as you could. Who fucking says that? Like, what the fuck? It's like, if you got a thing coming, if it does, it's gaining interest like it is right now, gaining traction, because this is really pie in their fucking faces right now. Like, who would tell you? Like, honestly, that wasn't an article that we read a while back in a New York Times with Walter Hamada. And just to hear now that they actually said that to him, to his face, like, hey, Zach, hey, put out your vision, but look, we want you to cul-de-sac it as much as you can. Yeah. Yeah. I was blown away. Totally blown away, disappointed. But you know what? The project speaks for itself, I think. The project absolutely speaks for itself. The people have spoken. People are talking about Restore the Snyderverse. And like he says this, when he made the film originally, it was supposed to be part of a 5-part trilogy, he told Vanity Fair. His new version of Justice League, which debuted on HBO Max today, is actually the middle section of the intended story arc, preceded by Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. We all know this. There are 2 more episodes of the Justice League to be shot. 2 more. Snyder knows it's unlikely he'll ever tell those stories, though he pointed out, you know what? But I didn't think I'd be here talking about a restored Justice League, so never say never. So I like that he said that. I like that he said he never say never, because it does give you a little bit of hope that it could definitely happen. I think it will probably happen in this case, because there is a lot of people asking to see more. They want to know what happens next. Even my kids, my kids loved it. They've watched it twice now, and both times they were just invested. They just sat on the couch like this, and they just watched it. And I know it. You're thinking, Chris, it's rated R. Your kids, like, how old are they? And I'm like, yeah, they're young, but it actually is more PG-13 than rated R. There are a couple F-bombs in there, but they go so fast that they don't dwell on it. There is blood, but it's like happens really quickly. And so for them, I don't think they see that. I'm not sure. Then again, they've seen much more violent things like Kong Skull Island and things like that. But they enjoyed it. My little one, he's like, I want to see the arrow scene again. The arrow scene. And I'm like, oh, you want to see the Themyscirans? the Amazons and Themyscira. And he's like, he didn't know what that meant, but he just wanted to see them shooting arrows again. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, it is something fantastic that everybody from seemingly, at least, all ages are readily enjoying and taking it in and loving it, and saying people who didn't like Man of Steel BVS are loving this movie. That's interesting, but I think they're going back to Man of Steel and BVS and understanding where it was supposed to head and understanding that arc a little bit more. So I think that's kind of cool. And I really hope that means that, you know, what do you call it? That really means that AT&T is looking at that too. So Grace Randolph did a cool video. Check it out. And you know what? In terms of Snyder Cut, she's batting 100 right now. So I would kind of pay attention to her when it comes to, you know, Justice League and so on and so forth. I mean, she already got an interview with Zack like 3 or 4 times at this point. I mean, how else could you like think she's probably not, you know, speaking the truth here? But anyway, there's a lot of spoilers in this video, granted. Okay, so just letting you know, just warning you. But just to say basically what she's trying to say here is that there are now talks of HBO Max and AT&T interested in continuing Zack Snyder's Justice League. I noticed she doesn't really say Warner Brothers. She does say Warner Brothers is interested, but she says AT&T, HBO Max. Like, that is the entities that are really the parties that are very much interested in continuing the Snyderverse somehow. And she does say that they are more interested in continuing as a series. And, you know, she brings up Mandalorian. This is like this is the driving big numbers, and it's still, they're still looking for the weekend, so it's not a done deal yet, but definitely it's some type of positive conversation at least. But, you know, we still have to show the numbers this weekend. Like I said, this is the box office opening weekend, and we need to make it big. We need to make it count. I've already watched it 3 times after launch in HBO Max, so that comes to like 6 times already. 3 times on the screener, 3 times on HBO Max. I'm probably gonna watch it tomorrow as well. But she gives a lot of good pointers in here about the business side of things, the creative side of things, how it could continue, what type of series are there that could continue in terms of like Joker series, Cyborg series, or things like that, or just Zack Snyder's Justice League to continue as a series. And the money part, I totally understand, and the ways that they could get the actors and actresses to come in and out, it's much easier than signing them on as a movie, and it's a lot more expensive as a movie. Rather than doing it as a series. And I totally agree with that. I would want a movie because it is a movie, but there's certain things in here that she didn't mention was, and I mentioned before that, you know, it's actually easier and probably much less headache for Zack if he were to continue as a series, especially if AT&T or for whatever reason can't convince Warner Brothers to continue on. They can get you know, the series side going, and you're like, wait, what does that mean? Like, why can't it's on HBO Max? Why can't they just, you know, greenlight it and stuff like that? Well, the people who are involved, like said, in greenlighting or even heading projects, right? Probably the same people that are telling them you can't use Green Lantern. You got to make it a cul-de-sac. These kind of people, right? They're still there, but it's greenlit by Walter Amada. Any movie, any DC-based movie, okay? I'm going to emphasize that DC-based movie, whether it's theatrical or HBO Max, is greenlit by this gentleman right here, Walter Amada. Okay? Walter Amada is under Toby Emmerich. Toby Emmerich is the original regime that was part of the Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns regime back then, right? So they don't want the Snyderverse. Like, they don't want the Snyderverse. They might be more tempted to do it now because 18 is pressuring them, saying, hey, it looks like it's going good. Look at the critics. Look at this. These aren't Russian bots, apparently. We thought it was Russian bots, but no, the world likes it. So we're gonna, you know, we want to do that. But, you know, they may have a hard time creatively during the process of making when these guys are still involved, right? So that may be the case, unless they have some kind of exclusivity where they don't need Walter Hamada, or AT&T says, you know what, you don't have to report to them at all. You can do whatever you want, Zack. Then that's cool. I think then Zack would be cool with that, and it could come out as a movie. I think that would be the best thing to do, because it would be kind of nice to have it, because it's already a movies, that the next one would be a movie. But if it's easier and creatively, these type of people don't have to come in there and ruin it all the time, then it would actually be better to go as a series. Why? Because series, whether it's DC, whatever, any properties, can be greenlit by this gentleman here. His name is Casey Bloys. Casey Bloys is heading the series side of DC. So he greenlit Green Lantern, he greenlit Peacemaker, he greenlit GCPD, probably the Zatanna. I don't know if the Zatanna is going to be a movie or show, I'm not sure yet, but other series as well. This is the man to do it, and being reported to. He is from AT&T side. He has nothing to do with Warner Brothers whatsoever. That's why when you see like Watchmen came out on HBO, that wasn't greenlit by Walter Hamada or Toby Emmerich. Warner Brothers had nothing to do with that. So this is creatively easier, probably easier to continue as a series, and I think less stressful for Zack and crew to do as a series. Although he does make movies, so it could be kind of. But as you've seen the movie now, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not. It's in parts. It does play out like a series. A lot of people are like, well, this feels like a mini series that we're getting all the seasons in one sitting. All the episodes rather in one sitting. So it does feel like that when you watch the movie. I want to watch the movie, but Casey Bloys would be the one to do that if it were to continue that way. So if that's what Grace Randolph is implying, that they are going for the show, I could totally see that happening more so than a movie currently, unless there are protections in place. Like if Christopher Nolan or someone says, you know what, Walter, you touch this and I bite your hand off. I don't know, but it is a lot easier, like I said, to go through a series. And if the conversation is really truly happening, that's awesome. I think that it could spell the way for actually restoring the Snyderverse, as some other people other than Grace Randolph has already implied. I don't want you to give you too much hope, but I've always done that. I've always looked as a glass half full, not half empty. And optimistically, I think, as just judging from the reactions, the critics' reactions, whether you like them or not, the studio cares about that. The general population, the mainstream. Now, I'm just really looking forward to the numbers. I'm really looking forward to what the numbers, the statistics, the analytics, how much people subscribed, how much people stayed, how long they've watched, how many times they've watched over this entire weekend, as this is what you could say the box office opening weekend for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So let's see what happens with that. I'm really intrigued by that. All right, well, that pretty much is for today. Let's get into the members' comments and questions now. I just realized I didn't even put up the Zack Snyder Justice League subtitle there, but who cares? So here we go. Let's go into the members' comments and questions now. And to be fair, there may be spoilers in the comments and questions, so if you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you kind of turn off now, because some of my members may have already seen it and probably want to talk about certain things already. So there may be spoilers in the members' comments questions. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So be prepared for that. So yeah, if you want to see your comment or question on the show, please join down as a member down below and put a comment or question. All right, here we go. Amparo, really great movie, but Man of Steel still is number one for me. But of course, that's just me. But for sure, we need to restore the Snyderverse. Yeah, we do need to restore the Snyderverse. Now, for me, my three is Zack Snyder's Justice League, Batman v Superman, then Man of Steel, in that order. But I'm totally cool with anybody's orders. That's your preference. I'm not gonna change you. In short, no spoilers. That movie is a pure fucking masterpiece. Please, Jason Kylar, AT&T, Warner Media, HBO Max, excuse me, HBO Max, help, please. Millions of us all over the world need this to continue. If there's any justice in this world, make Snyder Cut canon and restore the Snyderverse. Well, it could be our canon, right? By the way, sorry, been MIA. I just took a break from internet until today. No problem. And if you haven't watched it, you should be off the internet. There's been people who are just talking up the storm about what happens in the movie. And it's you just can't get away from it. Unless you get off the internet. Seeing the glorious reactions to Zack Snyder's Justice League is just fantastic. Whenever you get to see it, wherever you are, hope you love every single second. Restore the Snyderverse. Oh my God, just saw the film. Brandon Hayes just saw the film. Here we go. Damn it. Warner Brothers Pictures is so stupid. They are butchers and not filmmakers. This was just the beginning. This film was the preamble to something bigger. There could have been a 3-hour cut of this film released in 2017. The Aquaman solo film could have also maintained the tone established in this film while also having some of the shiny stuff seen in the solo Aquaman film. We could have had a Deathstroke versus Batman film that mirrors the cutscene in the Arkham game. The Flash film featuring Cyborg and Batman should have been Flashpoint Batman teams with Flash. A Cyborg film would have been killer. Let's see what they do in the next year. WWE84, James Wan's Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey. Us Snyder purists can now rest easy. That was all a bad dream. It's still out there though, but at least if you enjoy the Snyderverse, and hopefully we can continue this. I can see why Ray Fisher fought against Warner Brothers Pictures. Jeff Johns, John Berg, Victor Stone is the heart of the film. The story with him and his father is the foundation of the film. Johns, Whedon, Berg ripped the soul out of this film and abused the actors and Zack's crew and the team that made this film. Johns, Whedon, and Berg are butchers. Real talk, I love the film, but the best scene in the movie is the face-off between Batman and Joker. Oh my God, it was so intense, but also criminally short. Goddamn, Warner Brothers Pictures, get your shit together. Release the air cut, restore the Snyderverse. And you know what, just to tease a little bit more, I said this yesterday, that, on Wonder Meg's show, Zack Snyder did reveal that there's probably going to be a lot more of that dialogue, like more dialogue of Joker and Batman together in the Justice is Great edition. So I'm looking forward to that. I wonder how much longer that version is, I'm wondering. I just finished watching it, and for me, it's the best DCU movie I've seen. Maybe the best DC movie I've seen in my life. Freaking masterpiece, Restore the Snyderverse. For me, it is absolutely the best DC movie I've ever seen. And close to being the best movie I've ever seen. Like, I'm just that invested into it. It's addicting. I just want to watch it again. I got the soundtrack. I forgot to tell you, the soundtrack came out. All 4 hours, I think. I don't know if it's 4 hours, but it's on YouTube or it's on stuff. Official Watertown Music, or you can buy it on Google. Oh, no, you know what? I didn't see it on Google. I was disappointed. But Apple Music, iTunes, of course. Get the soundtrack. Superman's new rendition of Superman is awesome. It slaps. Nice to see Ryan Reynolds watching Green Lantern, actually enjoying it, and the little exchange with Zack was sweet. Maybe Ryan Reynolds will pop up in Justice League 2 and 3? Hopefully. I've just finished watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. I hope you liked it. Masterpiece of a movie. Restore the Snyderverse. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. Lee Fusion Robinson. There you go. On point with all the fist bumps. Holy shit, you said my name. You're awesome, Chris, and the movie was legendary. Yeah, well, thanks for joining as a member, and hopefully I said it right, Trey Bledsoe. The first 4 minutes is of the masterpiece. The beginning 4 minutes alone was better than that shit we got a few years ago. Pure amazing. Yeah. And I'll talk about that in a spoiler review. And I knew it if the few good clips of Joss crap was all Snyder's baby. Restore Snyderverse, Zack Snyder's Justice League, we can win. I'm all for Our Man getting a film to be smaller, 40 million film. I still want Justice League 2 and 3. Would be chill with Ryan Reynolds being Guy Gardner, the new 52 badass version. Yeah, I think he's going to be... I think he's still going to be Hal Jordan, though. But anyway, what a day. It's been Zack Snyder's Justice League has been on repeat all day long. So glad everyone got to finally watch this epic shit. Zack Snyder's Justice League will live on now. Chris, where is BVS Remastered? I thought it was dropping today. Same with Zack Snyder's Justice League score. I can't find it on iTunes. The score dropped today. I don't have iTunes, but I saw when I clicked on it, it says Apple Play. I don't know if that's the same thing. Apple Music. And yeah, the BVS Remastered didn't drop. I thought it was going to drop today as well, but I didn't see it. Unless I missed it. But I thought the documentary was going to drop today. Maybe it drops this weekend. Maybe they want to prolong the excitement a little bit. I love this so much. I felt like a kid again with how excited I was watching this. We need this to continue. I think after seeing the views, the engagement from all over the globe has to happen. They would literally be leaving money on the table if they don't. The Batman Joker exchange was amazing. So much potential there. Only thing I wasn't a fan of them is vocals playing every time Wonder Woman did something. I feel like it was a bit overused. I mean, that was Junkie's own version of the Amazons. That's his like, oh, you know, kind of thing. I would have loved to hear a little bit more of that Wonder Woman theme again, but you know that's the way he went with it. Watched it once and truly loved it. Watched it twice and it's even better second time around. An outstanding movie and an absolute triumph. There has to be one more. One of my favorite moments was Flash's contribution in the final fight. Yup. Just an epic, beautifully made movie and we'll be watching it a lot. Yes. We certainly need that to happen. Make more. A couple things I found odd about the film. Nothing big, but no Perry White scene after all. I told you. Not a big thing. I guess it wasn't needed. The shirt rip scene implies Clark's back as Clark. I just find it interesting after knowing Fishburne had a scene originally planned. Guess like Ryan Reynolds, it was a case of not available. So we don't get a scene with Diana and Lois. I suppose it's in the 5 or a scene, assembly cut or something, assuming Zack didn't misunderstand when he asked or whatever. I wouldn't surprise if it was just cut out. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, where would the scene have fit? Yeah, you know, there wasn't a specific scene where they look at each other. She does mention Lois 2 times, but that's about it. So, yeah, I don't know about that. But, like I said, maybe it's in the 5-hour cut. And there is a 5-hour cut. So we'll see. I'll say this. You brought up Amy's silent acting. Watching the film, I now get an answer why Lois didn't have any lines in the trailer. She has a lot of scenes in the film, but doesn't talk much for the reasons you noted. She's not in the emotional state she was in before Clark's death, where she's secure enough to give some epic lines. I'd have loved to hear her talk more, like the full speech we heard parts of in the other version, other parts in the marketing then. But Amy's acting is so powerful in itself. She conveys so much without talking. I just hope despite JL2 being focused on Nightmare Future, the present day stuff will have some great moments for Lois. I guess it depends on where they go with Justice League 2. If he does a bit of what he wanted in Justice League 2 in the original storyboards, then wouldn't that mean she becomes a journalist once again and she's investigating Lex Luthor or something like that? So that may be where you get a bit more of her. Brent T. Wilson. I'm completely blown away. It was everything I wanted and more. It's truly a masterpiece. I can't wait to delve into further online with others in the community, and each time I watch it again, Warner Brothers needs to give Snyder the keys to his own universe, restore the Snyderverse. I knew you all going to say restore the Snyderverse, man. I finally got a chance to get home and watch the movie, and just thank you, Lord, for giving us this Zack Snyder's Justice League. This movie gave me chill bumps from the beginning, and man, it didn't stop. This movie is so beautiful, and making the Amazons like the Spartans from 300 was just epic. Hey, Chris, did you notice Green Lantern's ring choose Darkseid before he was shot by an arrow? I don't know if he chose Darkseid or he just looked at it for a brief moment and he wanted to, like, maybe it's like looking at him like, are you a good kid? Yeah, nah, that's right. I don't know, but that was kind of funny. It gave it a moment, like he's like trying to wonder which way he should go. I watched it through my PlayStation VR the second time around. You can set the image to appear like a cinema screen. It was epic, closest thing to IMAX at the moment. Zack Snyder's Justice League played like art. Only got an hour into the Snyder Cut last night at midnight California time. The red carpet show was amazing. I'm headed home now to watch the rest of it. Yeah, let me know. My initial reaction is that Warner Bros. Did such an injustice to the Steppenwolf character in the theatrical release. He's so much more in the Snyder Cut. Why, Warner Brothers? Why? Lots of people were asking that today. Why, Warner Brothers? Why did you change this? Like, what was so bad about this that you felt the need to get Joss Whedon to change all this stuff? Which is a question I don't know if we'll ever get an answer. Straight from the horse's mouth. Hallelujah, brothers. The masterpiece Zack Snyder's Justice League is here, and it's perfect. Thank you, everyone. We did it. Restore the Snyderverse indeed. We restore the Snyderverse indeed. I am waiting for that. And hopefully, Grace is, on point. And, less likely, I doubt her now in terms of Snyder Cut. So I'm really ready to see what happens next. How long will it take to get to that decision? I have no idea. It took Wonder Woman 1984 one weekend. But I've always thought maybe they were always planned to do Wonder Woman 3 anyway. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's just show up, keep watching it over and over, and yeah, give them those clicks, guys. Give them those clicks. All right. Well, I'm gonna have my I'm gonna do my spoiler review now. So not on this show, but on when you'll get this probably within like 6 hours or so. So be sure to read that. Not read that. Actually, watch that if you want to. And then we'll probably have a pretty heavy, big discussion on Dave the Film Junkie's vodka stream on Friday, tomorrow night. So be prepared for that. That's gonna be big. That's gonna be epic, just like Zack Snyder. Well, maybe not as Zack Snyder's Justice League, but maybe just as long as Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.